What's up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN here with the people's champ, I believe he calls himself, Colby Covington, best welterweight in the world. Did I miss any other titles, Colby? Are you calling yourself anything else these days?
I don't call myself anything. It's just what the people labeled me. I'm the people's champ. I'm America's champ. I'm Donald Trump's favorite fighter. So any of those titles alone, any fighter would be lucky to have those.
Well, let's talk about something fun right off the bat. We had fights last weekend, UFC 249 on Saturday. I know I've kind of heard you say that sometimes you watch fights, other times it sounds like you don't catch an event. This one was kind of a big deal, first event in 8 weeks, seeing how the UFC could pull this off amidst everything that's going on. Did you watch UFC 249?
To be honest, I didn't pay attention.
It was a good night. It was a good night of fights. Justin Gaethje had a standout performance. Henry Cejudo won, announced his retirement. Francis Ngannou, 22nd knockout. It was a fun night of fights, man. No interest though from you, huh? You got better things to do?
Yeah, I got better things to do. I'm working on my cardio, and it is quarantine. So, I'm in training camp, getting ready for my next fight, whenever it may be. So, I had other things that piqued my interest. No crowd in the building. It's just there's no excitement behind it. So,
hey, that's a deviation from, I feel like, something that you've said in the past, though. You said you would be willing to go out and fight in front of no fans because you want to give people at home something to watch from. Have you changed your mind at all over the last month on that?
No, I haven't changed my mind. That's different. When we're talking about the Colby Covington business, then that's a whole different business than watching some of these other guys fight. I have no reason to watch Bilbo Baggins. He needs to go back to the Shire. And, also Justin Gaethje, another guy who, I have no interest in watching. He's a little lightweight. If I wanted to watch lightweights, I'd go turn on, BJ Penn beating up some dude in the street fights.
How about everybody was excited to have fights back, but a lot of the focus also was, on the protocols and the precautions, and can they do this safely under everything that's going on? As an athlete who, I'm sure you want to fight, were you paying attention to any of that, like sort of any of the stuff that was going on, seeing if you would feel comfortable, getting into a fight week under these circumstances?
No, I wasn't paying attention to that, but, my stance remains the same that it was in the beginning. We already put everything and risk everything on the line as it is every time we go out there and step in the octagon. So I don't think anything's changing. I'm the best fighter in the world right now. Everybody knows what happened in that last fight. That was a complete robbery. I mean, before the fight, everything going up in the lead up to the fight was, just everything went against me. I had a hurt foot. I kicked the student training, couldn't train before the fight, thrown up before the fight. I got a little bit set up. Someone gave me some bad food, and I was puking 2 days before weigh-ins. I got Charles and Clint from the UFC PI coming over, giving me a rehydration kit because I'm so, weak and all my electrolytes are gone. And I was, I didn't even have to cut weight. I went right to weigh-ins because I was on weight. So, and then we go in the fight, and then Mark guarded all the fake fouls that weren't there. He was calling, but then when there was fouls and he can see the guys clearly hit me in the back of the head at the end of the fight, and I'm intelligently defending myself, and then he calls the fight. We found out real quick that Mark Goddard is anti-Brexit. He wants the European Union. So he's a piece of he hates Trump. So obviously he hates me, and he's gonna get paid off to help me lose, and he didn't want me to win. So, I want a rematch with Marty Fake Newsman. If I don't get that, then, they better make something worth my while to come back.
Yeah, and you're very direct and clear in what you just said. But I do want to ask you, because Colby, people know that you have a tendency to turn some of your comments up to a higher volume for the attention. You've acknowledged that a little bit, but a lot of what you say you mean too. So I really want to get to the bottom of it. Do you feel that Mark Goddard completely cost you that fight? Do you truly feel like he was in there against you, that you had two guys in the octagon that you were actually facing that night?
100%. There was two guys I was fighting in the octagon that night. It's clear as day, Brad. Go watch the fight, man. It's clear as day that I'm winning the fight. 24 minutes of that fight is my fight. I mean, the fake nut shot, the fake eye poke. He's faking and selling on the opposite eye. I mean, come on, dude. We're fighters, dude. I got poked in the eye too in the fight, and I didn't take no breaks. And even Mark acknowledged it in the fight. He's like, no more breaks. So he even knew that he gave breaks, and he shouldn't have given those breaks. And then the back of the head strikes. Nobody's talking about the back of the head strikes at the end of the fight. I mean, I watched a Lesnar Frank Mir fight the other day. He throws one back of the head strike when he was in side guard, and they call a point and they stand him back up. dude, I got 5 hits clearly. I got 5 shots clearly in the back of my head, and I was intelligently defending. And then you're calling a stop to the fight in a world championship fight in the last 45 seconds of the fight when you don't know the outcome because the judges, you don't know how they scored the fight. I obviously clearly was competitive in every single round, and I think I won 1, 2, and 4, and most of the people thought I won 1, 2, and 4. So even the judges had it. One judge had me up 3-1. So, it's just, guys need to be held accountable, and he wasn't held accountable, and we found out that he's anti-Brexit. He hates Trump, so obviously he conspired against me, and I want a level playing field, Brett. That's all I ask for. I don't look for comments to say anything for attention. I'm just being myself and turning it up a little bit. If people have a problem with that, they don't pay my bills. They don't pay my mortgage. All I want is a level and fair field, a playing field. And that's all I want, Brett.
Is that something that you can ensure in this sport? Like, I guess when you go into your next fight, what do you do? What kind of recourse do you have to make sure that you have a referee that you're comfortable with? I mean, is there a route to that?
Yeah, actually there is a route to that because I seen before the fight with Marty, for the world title fight, they sent me an email and it was like, hey, they sent me like a list of refs' names and they're like, are you cool with all these guys? And I didn't know any of the guys at the time because I don't think I'd ever been ref by them. I've been ref by Herb Dean, Keith Peterson, a couple others, but I didn't see the list they sent me. So right away I was like, man, that's weird. I don't really know any of those guys, but I don't have a problem with them because I've never had any issues with them before. So, I didn't say like, hey, I don't want this ref. But come to find out, like hearing after the fight, knowing about Mark Goddard, like knowing he's anti-Brexit, knowing he hates Trump, knowing he's a liberal, knowing that he's from London, the UK. And obviously I've had some spats with, Mike Bisping and Daryl the Doughboy Till. So, of course he wants me to lose. And of course he's going to do everything in his referee's power to have an outcome in the fight. And that's exactly what he did. He gave Marty Fake Newsman life rafts, Brett. I don't care what you say. When I kicked him in the liver, Marty was ready to quit in that fight. He was folding up like a lawn chair against the cage, and I was implementing my will and my pressure. And he was going to break. He wasn't ready for that. That's what you call dragon energy. So, it sucks that guys aren't held accountable, and no one's talking about how big of a piece of he is and how much of a difference that this guy just made in my life. I mean, this guy, he's deciding the fate and the outcome of my paycheck and my living, and that's not fair, Brett.
Could you put a dollar amount on it? If you had to really say what you think Mark Goddard, in your opinion, cost you with his decision, what would you say?
I would say in between 10 to 20 million.
Wow.
Easily.
So moving forward, you're going to be cognizant of who's officiating your fight. When are we moving forward? You were on ESPN YouTube about a month ago with Ariel, and you had said at that point, you were looking for a fight with Tyron Woodley. You want your rematch, obviously, but the other fight that you would take was Tyron Woodley. It seems like he's moving on now. He tweeted May 23rd, Gilbert Burns. It seems like that's going to be a go. So where does that leave you, Colby?
Yeah, I'm hungry to compete again, Brett. Before I feel like I was playing with everybody. I wasn't taking, this business serious and taking my fight serious. Now I'm serious again. Now I've been in the gym every single day since my last fight. Now I have a chip on my shoulder. Now I have something to prove, and I'm going to come back with a vengeance. And I'm ready to come back any day, Brett. As you've seen, I came out tweeting that I was willing to fight Tyron Woodley on 6 days' notice, and I held true to that. I was ready to go. I told the UFC I was ready to fight. I thought I was fighting. But, they were able to make the fight with Gagey and Tony, so they didn't need me as their main event. They told me that they were going to schedule me for a later date, sometime in June or July, and fighting Woodley. Don't know what happened. I know that Woodley was refusing to fight me, and I guess he's looking for easier fights with some guy named Dilbert. I don't even know what a Dilbert is, but, no one knows what that is. But, yeah, whatever. He's going to move on. So now it only makes sense that I want my rematch with Marty Fake Newsman or a fight with Street Judas Masvidal. There's no two other choices to make right now for me, than those two fights. And if I don't get those fights, then, I'll just keep waiting, keep training. Every day that goes by, Brett, it's only getting worse for my competition. I promise you that. I get better every single day I wake up.
As far as the fight with Woodley comes together, he actually put it out there on Twitter. He said that he said basically that you need $1 million to fight him and $80,000 to fight anybody else. And you have been very clear saying that we can't believe anything that Tyron says. But Can you pull the curtain back a little bit on this? Did this fight not come together because of negotiating things? Did it come together because Tyron didn't want to fight you? Tell us why this fight didn't come together, and did money play a part in it?
No, money had no issue. We were very close to terms, and we were going to make it happen. But you can't believe anything Tyron Woodley says. He also came out, Brett, and said he's going to fight 3 times in 3 weeks on these Jacksonville cards. You really believe that? The guy hasn't fought 3 times in 4 years. How's he going to fight 3 times in 3 weeks? So the guy's full of fake news. I mean, that's why he's the CNN of the UFC. He refused to fight me, plain and simple. He's looking for easier paychecks, and that's that. It wasn't a money issue. We were very close on money with the UFC, and I just heard that he was willing to pick some guy no one's ever heard of named Dilbert. I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so now you want your rematch with Usman. I talked to Usman maybe a couple weeks ago, and he said that he's fighting Jorge 100%. He said 100% that is his next fight. And then about a week later, I talked to Dana White, and he said, "Oh, we might have something else in the works for Jorge." So, do you have any insight onto this? Tell me what's happening in the welterweight division.
Man, that I wish I had insight, Brett. That's your job. You're the reporter. You're the guy that's supposed to go out there and find the tough news and break the tough news. I don't know.
That's what I'm doing. I'm asking one of the players in the division. Tell me what's going on.
Hey, this player in the division is saying he's ready to fight tomorrow. Anybody can get it. I want to prove that I'm the best welterweight in the world. I know I'm the best welterweight in the world right now. So anybody can get it, especially Marty fake newsman or Street Judas. So, whenever they're ready to go, man, I'm just waiting on those guys.
So
But yeah, that's funny that, Dana said, there's other options for Street Judas Masvidal. So, it's interesting to hear what are those other options. I mean, Conor doesn't want to fight him. We know that Journeyman, he's got 14 losses, and now he's got 15 losses because he's out begging for Conor, and Conor wants nothing to do with him. You see Street Judas out there with the bathrobe. Cool gimmick, bro. You got a bathrobe on. I mean, he's been upside down triangle by Toby Yamada. I mean, he got beat up by Luis Palomino. I mean, he's been beat up every way possible, Brett. He's been knocked out. He's been choked out. Back in high school, he dropped out. And guess what? When he used to live me, I kicked him off my couch, out my house.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about the options that could be for Jorge, that's not a title fight. I mean, Conor was, the first name that I think a lot of people settled on. But to your point, I mean, Conor just went on a rampage on Twitter yesterday, and he didn't mention Jorge once. So I'm thinking, if it's not Conor, who else is it? I don't think that a rematch with Nate Diaz might make sense at some point. I'm not sure it makes sense now. So do you think it's you? I mean, like, sitting there today, like, do you think that they've sort of given thought into doing that, or do you think they have something else for Jorge?
I think maybe the UFC has given thought, but Journeyman George Masvidal hasn't given any thought. He trained with me for 9 years behind closed doors, Brett. He knows personally what it's like to fight and train with me, and he doesn't want to get exposed in front of the world. He's all hot when he gets a mic every time. He says all this running his mouth like he's all hard, but when a pen and paper come to table, he's nowhere to be found. He's out there faking injuries. Oh, I'm big, I'm Conor. Dude, you showed up at the Conor fight. The guy didn't even mention your name in the post-fight speech. I mean, you're a complete bum. He doesn't give a about you. So, he's lightning in a bottle. Everybody knows that. He caught all hype. He's 50-50 fighter in the last couple of years and got double-digit losses. I don't even know why we're talking about this jobber at the top of the mountain.
So you are ready to go, you say, and the UFC, I have to believe, is going to need fights. I mean, they haven't announced officially any event past May 16th, but I think that they're trying to get some logistics in place, maybe bring it back to Vegas. And once they get back to Vegas, they want to get going. They want cards every weekend, which means they're going to need fighters. So I just, sitting here on the outside, I'm thinking if the UFC needs fights and Colby's ready to go, we'll see him pretty soon. Are you pretty much open to anything that they offer you? Like, is that what you're saying? Like they call me, I'm taking the first fight they give me, or what exactly do you want? What needs to happen for us to see you sometime this summer?
Come on, bro. You know the answer to that, bro. I've done everything there is to do in this sport, man. I'm the only fighter to ever go to the White House and hang out with the sitting president. That no one's going to ever do that again. Another thing George lied about, saying he was going to go to the president's office, but that's a whole other story in itself. I'm not fighting anybody, man. I'm America's champ. I'm the people's champ. I'm Donald Trump's favorite fighter. I fight for the troops. I fight for the Trumps. I fight for America. But, I'm defending America's will and our spirit can't be broken. And I want my rematch with Marty Fake Newsman. You know, I was willing to fight Tyron Woodley because he's washed up, and you know, I'm just sick of hearing from the guy. I just want that guy to be muted and end forever. So I was willing to end his career, you know, on Fight Island, throw him to the Sharks. We never hear from him again. You know, I'm willing to beat my ex-best friend, you know, Jorge Masvidal. You know, he's another guy. But, you know, besides those three, you know, if it's not like a huge name and money fight, I'm not wasting my time. I've already made plenty of money in this business, you know. But, you know, I know how I want a fair shake at a world title fight, and I didn't get a fair shake. So I already won a world title in the past. So now I'm looking to get my second and win another one, the Power Ranger belt.
So one of the final questions I have for you, and I appreciate the answers that you've already given. Keep in mind, I guess, that it's not exactly a family show, but it's a little bit of a family show. Your cardio, I am interested in how you're able to keep your cardio up under these circumstances, because, you know, we just had a fight at UFC 249. Guys are talking about different ways that they train for camps. It's a little bit more challenging than in a normal world. And one of the things you do so well is you outpace guys. So how are you going to make sure that you still have that under the training circumstances as they are?
Everybody knows I just work harder than everybody. You know, I put more hours in the gym. You know, I'm a blue-collared, hard-working American, and I put it all on the line every time. I'm not talking about just in the octagon. I'm not talking about just in the gym. I'm talking about my daily life and everything I do. You know, I live, eat, and breathe this sport and this business, and I've never been more motivated in my life. So, you know, I'm just sick. I just have such a bad taste in my mouth, Brett, of that last fight. Dude, you don't realize I got robbed of my whole entire life's dream. Since I was 5 years old, I set out for this dream to be the best in the world, and all I wanted was a fair shake. Is that too much to ask? All I wanted, a fair shake, and I didn't get that. So now I have to work harder, and I have to be able to, you know, overcome the corruption, overcome, you know, the bad calls, and I got to be better. And that's what I'm doing every single day to ensure that. And I promise you, the best is yet to come for Colby Chaos Covington.
All right, we'll leave on this. Give me a guess. Colby Covington fights who, where, and when? Give me one guess as of today.
Colby Covington fights Marty Fake Newsman on Dana White's Fight Island.
This summer.
This summer, in July. Cool. What would usually be International Fight Week over on Fight Island. Let's do it, baby. Feed his dead body to the Sharks after I'm done with it, because without Mark Goddard to save him in the fight and help him cheat, he stands no chance.
We appreciate it, Colby. It looks like you're doing well over there. Stay well, stay safe, and yeah, maybe we'll see you on Fight Island this summer, man. That'd be fun.
I hope so, man. I look forward to seeing you out there, buddy.
All right, bud. Take care.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.